Hey everyone, welcome back to another Go Bad League video. The Great League is back in GBL, and I think everybody is very glad to see it back. I'm going to be running a team today with Shiftry, Azu, and Defense Deoxys. And Shiftry it's absolutely criminally underrated in my opinion. It is so good. It gets shields, it gets health, it can take moves sometimes. It's just such a good mon, and with the grass dark typing, it is weak to a lot of things. It does resist quite a few things, but having that grass and dark coverage, there's not a lot of typings that resist both dark and grass. One off the top of my head that I know of is Toxicroak. Toxicroak resists both grass and dark because of its poison fighting typing, but there's not a lot of typings that resist them both. So Shiftry is going to be doing a boatload of damage, and my opponents are going to have to respect it. So let's see, my opponent has a Shadow Swampert, so Defense Deoxys is going to be my neutral counter to it. I actually am down 2 shields to 0 for the time being, but I mean these Psychos should guarantee some shields. So we're going to get the first one through here. I'm going to throw right away the second move, and this is either going to be getting the Swampert low or taking it out, and it actually gets shielded once again. I'm going to throw the Psychos right away. My opponent over farms, allows me to get to the third move, and he's going to survive just barely, and I'm going to catch the Hydro Cannon, and this is going to be GG. Yeah, so my opponent leaves because he had the Skarmory in the back, and it wasn't going to be able to get to 2 moves to take me out. We have a Crest lead here. This is obviously a losing matchup, but I have Shiftry, and if I can get my opponent in the red, Shiftry can farm down, shield up a move, but it's going to be dangerous with loaded energy. Since he has Crest, he could be running Toxicroak, but it's unlikely just because Toxicroak is so uncommon in the meta, but it is around. It lurks in the shadows just like Shiftry does. So my opponent's going to let the Hydro Pump go through, and he's actually going to over-farm and allow me to get to this play rough. So let's see, is my opponent going to shield? Yes, he is, and it's CMP die. So definitely a big mistake by my opponent there, waiting to throw the Grass Knot. And at this point, I'm up his shield. So I'm going to come in Shiftry, and I'm going to farm this thing all the way down. I'm going to shield the Moonblast because that's pretty much going to take me out. But look at how much energy. I'm already at 2.5 Leaf Blades. Now I'm at 100 energy. This is insane. So Shadow Machamp comes in. These counters do a lot of damage, but look at how much that neutral Leaf Blade does to a Shadow Machamp. That is crazy. And my opponent has a G-Fisk in the back. This is okay. Pretty neutral in the one shield. I think it's actually better if you have Rock Slide than Thunderbolt, just because it's cheaper. So what I'm going to do, shield up the Earthquake, throw Rock Slide first, farm up to 2 Psycho Boosts, throw them back to back, and I think at that point, oh no, I'm actually going to over farm because my opponent threw the Earthquake and was energy dry, and my opponent's going to shield the first Psycho Boost, and I'm going to be able to get the second one off. Even if my opponent did get to that Rock Slide there to take me out, I had 2 moves on Shiftry anyways, so it was going to be GG nonetheless. I'm going to be able to get to this third Psycho Boost, and that's going to be taking it out. I actually thought that my opponent still had shield at that point, so you can see me spamming trying to click Shiftry to get the Leaf Blade off, but there was no need. Alright, getting into this next match, we have Abomasnow on the lead. This is really bad for my team. I'm ABA weak to a couple things. One of those is going to be poison types, and then another one of those is going to be Abomasnow. Defense Deoxys has a really nice matchup against those, but Abomasnow does take out Azu, and it handles Shiftry really well. So my opponent doing a really good job at throwing it to CMP ties. I'm actually going to take this to the one shield just to be able to get this play rough off. I could have let it go, taken the shield advantage, and farmed down with Deoxys. But what I do is probably the worst play that you could think of. I shield and then try and counter down anyway, and my opponent lives because IVs matter. He has Amanda Buzz, and this is not the worst thing in the world. I'm going to be able to get at least a Rock Slide or two off here, and this is going to be pressuring the Amanda Buzz, but I don't think there's any need to shield because they're going to be able to live this Rock Slide anyways. Yeah, so my opponent actually just snarls me all the way down, and at this point I have a decision to make. I'm going to come in Azu, and Azu is tanky. It's going to be able to farm that thing all the way down, and my opponent has just what we needed in the back. He is a Shadow Swampert, and at this point I outpace him. 2 Leaf Blades with Snarl is quicker than a Hydro Cannon and a Sludge Wave with Mud Shot. My opponent tries to catch, but he is no match. I was actually waiting patiently to see if he was going to try and catch when I thought that he would think I'd throw, and I ended up being right. My opponent does try and catch, so I just throw another Snarl, and I'm going to be able to take out the Swampert with the Leaf Blade. Actually, that thing would be able to take out like 3 Swamperts, especially being Shadow. So, very nice game there. Getting into the next one. Someone at ace rank, so this person's competing to get 2 veteran for the first time.
Need anything from the parking lot?
Alright, so we have the Azu mirror matchup here. I'd say like at least 95% of Azus run play rough, especially if they're in the lead. So yeah, my opponent's going to throw a play rough here. I don't get a move through, unfortunately, but I am able to fast move deny. And let's see. Do I throw right away? No. We both overfarm just a little bit. Another fast move denial. This is going to be one of those games. And let's see. I fast move deny as well. And I don't know if we saw who won CMP. I think my opponent won CMP. So let's see. 3, 4. We're going to get there at the same time. Actually, I'm able to win CMP. So very nice. My opponent's going to shield. And I'm just going to let this go and take shield advantage. I think one of the things with this team that can allow for a lot of success is having Shiftry in the back. You can just take shields with Azu in the lead, and then you can just come in and load up on energy with Shiftry. Kind of like a Zionic play type. I know Zionic is really, really big on teams where you use your lead Pokemon to get ahead on shields, or like get ahead on energy, and then come in with something in the back that can absolutely destroy teams when the Mon is loaded with energy. So my opponent has a Powder Stone Ninetales. This is actually a lot better than Charm Ninetales. At least from what I've seen, Charm just does so much to Shiftry, and especially when your shield's up, like Charm is a lot of fast move damage, and Powder Snow charges up a lot, so it's going to be a lot of charge move pressure. So I can take these Powder Snows a lot better than I would be able to take a Charm, and this makes it a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say neutral matchup, but it makes it a lot more manageable, to say the least. So I'm just going to take this Weather Ball, and I'm pretty sure I was in the zone here, so I farm up. Okay. Ooh. So I made the worst possible mistake. I overfarm and allow my opponent to get to a Shadow Ball here. That game easily should have been won. There's no reason I should have choked that hard, but just made a pretty big mistake, and my opponent capitalized on me being slow. So, I mean, well played by him, but I definitely could have very easily won that game. So we have Deoxys with Thunderbolt on the lead, and my opponent, randomly, absolutely lucky as heck, catches on Azu. Because I think I threw after 8, and that's like the most random number to catch at. But like he gives up switch advantage here, and I can beat this thing with Shiftry. So I'm gonna farm up to where we would both be getting the move at the same time. If my opponent shields, I'll drop another shield and farm up again. My opponent lets it go and he takes shield advantage, but I have so much energy here that I should get at least one shield back. So here we have the Charm Alolan Ninetales. Look at how much damage that thing does. I'm very lucky here that my opponent's not getting free charms through. But there we do get the shield back. And my opponent does lag for like 1 or 2 counters. So I'm going to be able to get a little bit of energy through. My opponent comes in with Deoxys, and this is okay. My opponent probably has Psycho Boost. I don't know if that's been revealed already, but Thunderbolt's going to be getting me pretty low. And let's see, my opponent gets that counter through, so I'm not going to be able to get to Psycho Boost now. That is awful because that flips the entire game. I don't let that counter through. I get to a Psycho Boost and either get a shield or take this thing out, and I don't have to worry about it myself. My opponent throws Thunderbolt, so he absolutely doesn't have Rock Slide. And at this point, we both have a shield up. It's just going to be a matter of fast move pressure, and we're going to KO each other. So we have a draw for the last matchup. So I went 3-1-1 in the first set. Going to be gaining me about like 30 MMR probably, like 25 to 30. And we have a Scrafty lead. This is amazing. I have so much energy on Azu now, and I have a very favorable matchup here with Shiftry against Azu, and there's no way I can lose this one, right? So I'm going to throw the Leaf Blade. I probably could have farmed up like 1 extra Snarl, but like my opponent, like that's not going to be taking the Azu out, so it doesn't really matter when I throw. I'm going to throw out the CMP tie now. If my opponent wants to shield, I'll shield and farm up again. But again, big misplay. I clicked on the Leaf Blade, so it ends up being a decent CMP, and I had to throw again. So actually what I did was I let the Ice Beam go knowing that I would live it, and that way I wouldn't take a shield deficit. My opponent has Deoxys now. Or, no, my opponent has Venusaur in the back. And, I mean, this is like the best case scenario for me. I'm going to farm up to 100 energy and throw this Play Rough. And, okay, at this point, I'm just going to let this Venusaur take me out. Very okay with it using all of its energy here. And at this point, I can just get to 2 moves. It does become a little bit tricky because if my opponent calls the bait, he actually has winning chances, but a Psycho Boost is going to take it out from here. I don't know if a debuffed Psycho Boost would have taken that out from that range, but I didn't want to risk it because I was pretty confident that my opponent would shield. But anyways, that's going to be a GG. We have Drifblim in the lead. This is fairly neutral. You're going to be resisting the Icy Winds, and I think my opponent... No, he does throw after 5, so this could be a Shadow Ball. It is, and since I don't have Ice Beam, this actually isn't great. My opponent comes in Vigoroth, and I am just going to throw this Play Rough, and I'm just going to come in with Deoxys and farm all the way down. I think I'm going to have to take 2 Body Slams, but DD is tanky, it resists the counters, and like Body Slam's a pretty weak move damage-wise, and I'm going to be able to live this comfortably in the yellow. And now I have energy and switch, so we're in a pretty good spot here. My opponent's going to come back in with Drifblim, so I'm going to pressure with Rock Slide. The counters are triple resisted, but I do have charge move pressure. I'm actually going to throw after 2 because I didn't want to throw on the CMP tie. And my opponent lets it go, and I'm going to pull an aggressive switch here into Azu. I'm going to shield the Shadow Ball, there's really no point in him throwing the Icy Wind, and my opponent has a Diggersby in the back. So I'm going to throw this Hydro Pump right away, and my opponent shields it up. So let's see. I think if this is an Earthquake, I will be able to outpace. I'm going to let it go because I do have that Shiftry in the back. I don't remember this matchup. I don't think. I remember playing against a couple Diggersby, but I don't remember this exact matchup. So let's see. I'm going to farm up to where basically he would be at the Fire Punch. And I'm going to throw back-to-back because this is going to be a CMP, and my opponent doesn't have a shield, so he can't block that damage. And then at this point, I have a shield, and Driftblim is energy dry, so my opponent's going to concede the match there. Alright, getting into the next game, we have another Scrafty lead. This is really, really nice. My opponent switches into Skarmory, so I'm going to come in with Defense Deoxys. This is one of those situations where having Thunderbolt would be really, really nice. I'm going to let the Sky Attack go, though. My opponent doesn't farm up to the Brave Bird. So, let's see. I'm going to farm up to bluff the potential Thunderbolt. My opponent does shield, so that's pretty good. I'm going to shield the Sky Attack now. Farm up quite a bit of extra energy. I think I'm going to throw after 4, just so my opponent doesn't get a free move through. And, wow, my opponent's going to switch. This is one of the things with my team. I really don't have an answer to those dark poison types. My opponent lets the Rock Slide go, and then he allows me to get to another move. My opponent's going to shield the Psycho Boost, which is pretty good for me. And then I let the Sludge Bomb go here. I'm going to shield the second one up because there's almost no way they throw a Crunch. They throw a Crunch! And now I don't think I would have been able to farm down anyways, but I have to throw now. This is really, really, really bad. Let's see if this is a pup or a foul play. This is a pup, so I'm actually going to be able to get to... My opponent catches. And, yeah, okay. Why have I not conceded the match here? I think it's because 2 Leaf Blades might KO? Like, obviously I can't live 2 counters from here, but this is for science. Oh yeah, it would have taken him out. Yep. This is GG, so. The lag desync catch where it shows that they're still in Scrafty, and then after you've thrown the play rough, it's like, oh no, now there's a Skarmory in the game. It is what it is. Azumarill lead. I get the free bubble through, which is pretty nice. And then am I going to throw here? No, I'm going to farm up one more. I actually fast move deny here, so game definitely favoring me. Probably feeling bad for that last matchup. I am going to throw the second play rough right away. No point in over farming, and I do deny again, so I'm comfortably up 1 bubble. And I get another one through, so this is really nice. I'm going to build up to where I'm 1 over, that way it's not going to be throwing on a CMP, and I have a fast move denied twice, so I assume that I can a third time. I can a third time, and then my opponent comes in Sableye, so I'm going to be getting a shield here. So this is really nice. I'm going to be getting the shield and then coming in with Shiftry, and at this point, like, this matchup is so comfortable. I think they live a Leaf Blade. I think Foul Play does do slightly more damage. And I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade. This could be a mistake. I'm actually checking real quick. Oh, no. Leaf Blade and Foul Play both do 70 damage. Leaf Blade's just a far better move because it's cheaper. And my opponent comes in AWAC. I'm going to be able to get to 2 Foul Plays here. And First one's going to get shielded. The second one can't get shielded. And that's going to be taking the AWAC out. I'm going to come in and counter it down, and my opponent doesn't want the smoke. And that's going to be GG. So now we have Umbreon in the lead. This is pretty nice. My opponent safe switches Azu, and I have a grass type. I have a grass type, and I'm gonna throw a Leaf Blade here. My opponent does get a bubble through here, so this is not ideal. Then I'm gonna throw on the CMP tie here. If my opponent wants to shield, he can. And my opponent does. Okay, so he actually... Oh, so I denied here, and I get a free Snarl through. I'm going to shield the Ice Beam here, and I am counting, so I'm going to throw whenever we're at the CMP tie again. At this point, I think I'm at 2... No, I think I threw 1 before. My opponent lets it go. And he comes in with... he comes back in Umbreon. And my Shiftry is so healthy here. My opponent does get a free fast move through, but these Leaf Blades are going to be coming through like crazy, and they're going to be chunking. It does probably just straight up 25%. My opponent is farming up to 100 energy, so he's going to allow me to get this third Leaf Blade through. This actually was a CMP tie. It's not like Last Resort or Psychic would KO anyway. Well, Psychic would be double resisted, but so my opponent, okay, so I try to aggressive farm down the Umbreon. I'm surprised they didn't throw, but they have a DD of their own in the back, and I think Rock Slide is best for the mirror. I think it's better than Thunderbolt. So this is going to be, is it just straight up 3 Rock Slides to KO? I think it is. So yeah, so my opponent has Rock Slide also. But my opponent has a shield and I don't. But like, I also have a full health Azu in the back, so this game's over. My opponent just doesn't realize. Yeah, I think my opponent has Psycho Boost, right? Ooh, no, he has Rock Slide Thunderbolt. Wow, okay. Anyways, like, this Last Resort's not even going to come close to KOing me. And at this point, I can farm down the Umbreon. And that's going to be GG. Anyways, I bet you guys didn't know this. 4-1 set here. But we got a bonus battle. Thank you to all of you guys who have been sticking around till the end of the video. I do have a bonus battle here running a different team with Shiftry. It's going to be Nidoqueen, Registeel, and Shiftry. And we have a bad lead here. Nidoqueen into Empoleon. And I'm going to safe swap Registeel, shield the Hydro Cannon, and I am over farming, going to 100 million energy. And I'm going to throw the Flash Cannon here. I am taking counts of my opponent's energy though. My opponent is, I think he's getting to the next foul play here, so I'm going to throw the Flash Cannon right as he is getting there. And let's see. My opponent does a very nice job over farming. And this foul play is going to get me into the red. And I over farm just a little bit because I know that he's not at another move yet. And this is going to get a shield. So I catch the foul play, which is huge. And my opponent has Altaria in the back. So he has a double flyer team with Empoleon in the lead. So this is beyond lost, right? Like, there's not much I can do. All I have is a Nidoqueen and a very low Reggie. And my opponent has an entire Empoleon. So let's see. I'm just going to farm so much energy here. The Poison Jab buff actually allows me to shield once and farm this Altaria all the way down. Is there life? This game is over? Question mark? So let's see. My opponent has Mandibuzz. I'm going to catch the foul play on Registeel. This is huge. My opponent undercharges, which is very nice. He comes in and gets a waterfall through. And at this point, I have an Earth Power loaded. My opponent's going to shield it. And I'm going to get to the next Earth Power. Is this going to be enough to KO? If this KOs, game is going to be over. And it KOs! And I'm able to Poison Jab down Mandibuzz. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching these battles. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate it if you leave a like. It really does help me out, and you guys have been crazy on the support. You already know the drill. But anyways, I'll probably be coming at you guys with a lot more Great League content, especially if I'm not getting super busy with school. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.